YouTube. This is Mickey D with episode, I believe we're up to 78 for Stationeers. Yep, so they did put out a fix yesterday, or late last night, after I finished the stream for Hellion. And it did fix the save, so, or I could load and whatnot again. So they made a few changes too. Rebalance the food, the kind of the way it works. It all gives you calories now, and it hey MacGyver, and I guess the longer you hold down the bar, the more you eat. So it's not like a set percentage now, which is probably a good improvement. And I think they kind of, sorry, my wife's printing stuff. If you can hear my printer going off. And actually, we can leave those running. And I guess all the food gives you like more calories now, so they kind of delivery balance on that. The other thing they changed, hey David, was the data analyzer. Oh, we have something not reading right. Why is that not reading? I'll have to look at that in a minute. This is actually not the right thing. The network analyzer will tell you now, it doesn't just say powered, it tells you how much power something is actually using. So you can break down and actually see, I guess. Now we'll find something that's powered. Find a piece of, do we have any cable that's not? Well, yes, devs, you still haven't actually fixed that, so I can't see my tablet when I look up. Oh, that kind of freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, there's somebody in the base. I forget it just kind of leaves your body there. We hide wiring too well. Oh, and it went dead. This is off to a great start. Alright. I may have to make some more nuclear batteries soon. I'll probably stick a small battery in this. I don't usually use it all that often, so... Okay. There we go. Now, we should run down here. And we should be able to see now... So now, instead of just saying on powered, it'll actually tell you how much. So like volume pump off, unpowered. But we can see actually how much power everything's drawing. What nuke battery? We have nuke batteries. Yeah, see, we still have a couple left. I just can't justify really putting one in here because we don't use it that often. So I think I very rarely have to change the battery in there. This one, I think I actually put a nuke battery in. I'm not positive. Yes, I did. So, because this one I use all the time. And as we can see, the base is. I did notice when I loaded. Oh, that's actually not as bad as it was. And I've got a little bit of pressure. Looks like. Yeah, the base, for whatever reason, when I loaded it up, I don't know if it's when they were doing stuff, but it was depressurized. But yeah, it dropped the temperature quite a bit, which I don't know why it's that cold, because I believe outside on Mars it's only -60. So I don't know how my base suddenly got 40 degrees colder. Hey, Calvin. But yeah, and I do notice that sometimes on world load that it kind of, I don't know if it's just because they're making changes to stuff or whatnot, but every now and then kind of temperatures get a bit wonky on the load, drop down low. So we've got, yeah, we're charging, so, oh, we're charging. Oh no, we're dropping. Okay, I was going to say, it still was pretty dark outside. Yeah, they kind of do look pretty similar. I mean, it's, yeah, if you don't look for the symbols, you see the big blob and you're like, oh. It'd be nice if they actually put the nuclear symbol on the side and they just had that, just put it on all sides. And then had that, actually show you the color. Because as long as it shows you the color, That'll probably be a mod that somebody comes out with. Um, all right, so this seems to be running. We seem to be getting, slowly. Obviously, this is pretty much right where we left off, since, we kind of did Hellion the last couple of days, since we couldn't really load the world. And finally, right after I ended the Hellion stream, I loaded up. They had an update that had come out while we were playing Hellion, so I loaded up. Sure enough, everything's loading back into the world. All the world are loading up, whatnot. So I was like, oh, cool. And then I shut it down and went to bed. So this is pretty much right where we left off on the last stream, which we had just finished hooking that up. And I kind of want to carry that on to hook up one for the oxygen. And I don't know if I want to do it in the stream or not, though, because we just kind of did that in the last stream. We do need to go throw another battery downstairs, so we might do that real quick, actually. And I thought of a good system I wanted to add into the base, and I honestly can't remember what it is now. I thought about it the other day. It was like randomly just kind of crossed my mind out of the blue, and I was like, oh, well, that would be kind of nice. And I think it was going to be a pretty complicated setup, and now for the life of me, I cannot remember what it was. And I will probably circle right by this because I wasn't even paying attention. I'm trying to remember what the thing was. Come on. It's in here somewhere. And I gotta see because, oh, there we go. I gotta see what the, we don't need, I think we'll just stick one in for now. I've still got to go through all that because we've got all the stuff in there. We've got a ton of smelting and whatnot to do. And if I remember correctly, I think we were, yeah, we're almost out of, I don't even know if we have enough to hook this up. Probably not. So we need to, I'm a bit discombobulated since we haven't really been able to play for a while. I'm not sure what we've got it for resources in the machine. We got plenty in there to make cables. We'll start off with make a couple of heavy cables because we're going to need a few more of those, I'm pretty sure. There is, and it is actually something that I considered, but we'd have to do a massive expansion of the smeltery room. It takes a pretty complicated setup and valve system and whatnot because you've got to set up, and you can't fully automate it, as far as I know, because we can get it to probably drop ores in, and we can probably program it if we really wanted to, which we'd probably need like a whole nother room behind it. Because then we'd have to tie in like ore sorting, that sort of thing. Oh, I want this to make a regular cable while we're gone. And then we will walk away and completely ignore that and come back to a giant pile of cables. Because we could probably set it up so that like we hit a button and it'll drop like, a ratio of iron and ore. Yeah, that was the other option. Is like for the regular ingots, we could just drop into furnaces, and we either hit it and it feeds a specific furnace. Just us. One furnace is set up for one type of ore, and then if we ask it for it, it'll give us the ingots from it. And then we could just have it drop like a stack in or something. Or, we could do the smeltery, but then we're going to have to set up like a drop the ore in, purge, and then, actually ignite, run, drop the ore out, purge it again to get it reset up, you know. So it's doable. It's just probably very, very cumbersome because, you know, they don't really have, you know, there's, I mean, I'm really hoping they'll get to it soon, but there's not really inventory kind of management stuff in the game yet. Yeah, I have seen his, um, and you know, I've also seen. Oops, wrong, yeah, we went that the other way. Um, I also saw a pretty good. Wow, I just saw an image of it, which it was again, and this was another really complicated system as well, but it was for uh, basically doing the same thing with the furnaces and sorting all the ores, and basically you could hit a button and it would process that ore. Um, and I was thinking about, you know, we could do some type of ore collection bin sort of things and then tie that into a sorting sort of system. So we're not, you know, you go in a mining run and you don't have to like run in, you know, unload the tool belt, um, and then run back out again. So you could basically run up to the base, drop it all off in the bin, and then it would basically process it. Um, you know, whether or not at least sort it and store it, and then leave it ready for to be used. You know, um, which is something I did think about. You know, mainly looking into. It's just, you know, it will be, yeah, a big. We need a junction, three-way. Thank you. Um, very nice. It'll be a pretty in-depth setup, so that might be something we can go on to because we haven't really done anything. I mean, we've just basically been throwing stuff in lockers. But I do wanna get all the gases going because right now, I mean, well, I do gotta collect volatiles. Um, yeah, a couple updates ago, they redesigned the heavy cables. So now they've got like this junction box, and they're not the yellow stripe. They got the black. Overall, I mean, obviously, there's probably a little bit of work that needs to be done on the modeling. Um, there's a few little odds and ends. I think the corners, you know, they kind of got a little weird thing. Unless that's supposed to look like a zip tie. I don't know. I think that's a mess up in the texture, but it almost looks like it's supposed to be a zip tie. I don't know, but they've also added um, a four-way corner and a three-way corner, which we didn't have before. So it was very nice addition. Um, yeah, one of the things I actually did is first I went around and there was a couple of them I needed that junction and I didn't have it, so I was able to go through and, you know, kind of use them immediately, basically. Um, but I do like it. I like it having the little junction box there. I just wish the junction box was kind of like black instead of whatever you painted it. But that's, I guess, you know, that's a aesthetic preference on my part, I guess. But I can kind of see. I don't know. All right. And I'm going to get this hooked up real quick, and then we'll update the circuit, and this will be good to go. And of course, yeah, let's turn off the jetpack because I don't really need to get. Not that I think we're inside the base. We're not really gonna get stuck, but this is come on, come on. I'm hoping not to have to run up and grab the pick just to pull out one little chunk of. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, so I haven't really figured out what I actually want to do this episode. I just know that, you know, finally it's working again, so definitely wanted to stream Stationeers. Like I said, I didn't really want to. I charged up quick. Holy cow! Uh, okay. Well, maybe I should add another battery in. That didn't take long at all. They're all charged, and we've actually got everything running. Um, okay, maybe I will just go ahead and add another battery in. I didn't think we were getting that much power. I mean, I know we kind of threw some more solar panels in, but um, yeah, all the ACs are running. And we've actually got wall heaters running, which we do need to put those on the override circuit too. Um, maybe what we'll work on is so I thought of something to do for the ventilation system, the intake return. I think I kind of touched upon it. Okay, let's turn that off. We use all the copper. We did use all the copper. Okay, so we'll probably set up a batch to smelt. And that was, I was thinking about using a selector switch to basically chain and set up the circuitry to change. Well, okay, my thought was instead of having a return vent and a supply vent, we'll basically have one vent, have it tied into both lines, and then we'll use a digital valve to basically swap between if it's outputting or inputting. And then we'll use the circuitry to control both of it basically. But when we flip when the base is in pressurization mode, it'll switch them into output mode, switch the digital valve, and output gas output, and then we turn the switch off. It'll turn the digital valve, basically shut it, and it'll go into. So I don't know. I gotta look into it and see. And then basically it'll kick that into intake mode. So that way we could, basically use the same system, and it will give us the fast depressurization. And then we would just leave these passive vents still running for our filtration. And, if those, maybe we'll just set it to turn off those when the base is depressurized, so we're not kind of, wasting power. But I don't really mind those being on. Obviously we're getting plenty of power. We just put a new battery in and immediately filled it up. So power is definitely not an issue. And that way if we weld or something in the base or use our jetpack or something, which reminds me we need to fill that up, that we're not going to run, it'll get rid of it'll suck out any of the contamination and whatnot. And I just remembered we do need to fill up our jetpack. And at some point I need to rehook that back up yet again. All right. So I don't know if I want to go down. I guess we could just go ahead and make another battery. We obviously can get a full charge, though now we might not have. I think we're going to need, oop, I just passed it. Yeah, we're going to need copper, which we might have some in another, 315 in there. Nothing in there. And 139 in there. Yeah, we'll pull out of there. Honestly, I don't even know why there's copper in there. I can't think of anything in there that actually uses copper. All right, and I'm just going to have this make some heavy cable while we're gone. And we'll let it make some for a while, because, heavy cable does come in handy. Oh, I didn't make the battery kit, which is the whole reason I put the copper in there in the first place. All right, we need to go, I believe, that way. And we need gold too. Well, I'm pretty sure we do have, well, we need gold in there. Okay, maybe we don't have any gold smelted. Yeah, wait. I'm guessing that was round. I've always wondered about that. So we must have 19.5 in there, but it shows it as 20 because it doesn't show decimals. That's the only thing I can think of because, yeah, it's telling us we don't have. All right, I guess I got to actually smelt some gold. And supposedly, oops. No, hang on. Where is it? Gold. Now, supposedly, if Kopnik was correct, well, there's nothing in there. Awesome. That's why I don't really like this system. Plus, I have to take another step here to open these up. Oh. Let's not smelt the tool belt. Really? Thank you. All right, we'll let that smelt. All right, well, we'll go get the wiring ready. Yeah, that'll last us a little while. And yeah, I want to get the greenhouse up and running again. We'll turn food back on. And especially once we have, come on. Oh, I'm stuck. Especially since now that they've kind of a little bit revamped the food, I guess. You know, we'll see how it works. Worst comes to worst, we can always turn it back off if need be. All right. And something else we need to do, we do need to put cooling down here at some point. Okay, so we should be able to do 2 straights and then a 3-way. Actually, we just do a straight and they need to do a little bit more work on these heavy cables. Usually when you, I don't know what maybe when they threw it off when they redid them, but normally it's not always, it's like normally when you hover over to hook up to them and you hit the end, it's not quite, some of these 3-ways and stuff is not quite lining up right. It makes kind of a pain to sometimes get them to hook up. I think we need one more. That seems too far. No, I guess that should be right. And then we'll just do a 3-way. So we should be able to drop that in right there. And then we'll swap this over. Oh. Look at, oh, there it goes. Okay. I was going to say, oh, it said it auto-saved and there was no lag spike, but I guess we're getting the lag spike a little bit beforehand. Or we're getting the notification a little bit before it actually, yeah, we're going to want a junction. I will say, we don't seem to be getting that lag spike other than we were getting one for a while that was not related to the saving. And I haven't noticed it since I loaded the world back up. So maybe they fixed that. They don't always give us on the beta branch. They don't always give a. Come on, really? It's like it stays there until I click. Oh. Thank you. They don't always tell us what's in the beta updates. Sometimes we just get an update and it's got no notes on it. So obviously it's probably just some minor tweaks or something because I guess it's just not that noteworthy. Still? All right, well, let's shut that off so we can get whatever's in there. That'll be enough to get that battery. And then let that go ahead and keep running. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the rounding. I always wondered about that because, you know, like you make a cable, a regular cable, and it's half a half a copper, but the machines never say half a copper. All right, we'll get this hooked back up. And then I want to see if I can work out that intake exhaust system because I do like having the active vents for the um, drain, depressurizing the base. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, we're an idiot. I never hooked the supply line up on this. All right, let's get this swapped over. So yeah, we were charging it, but we were never draining it. That's okay. Oh, three-way. Thank you. Easy enough. That's right. It's not like it was critical anyway. Oh, perfect. And we'll see if we'll charge up to a 100% or not. All right, very nice. Yeah, we only dropped 1, 2, 3, about 3 batteries worth. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 batteries. Let's go ahead and make our change here, and then we can leave this room for a while. All right, so 10 batteries. And we're going to read, why is our solar override not... that should just be reading if a solar panel... Yeah, but why are you reading an error on that? I mean, it's obviously hooked into the system. So this is the override, so it doesn't run the gas generator if we drop below 20%. And all it does is just read if a solar panel is picking up a charge or not. And that's it. So maybe they changed that. Because I'm not, or maybe we can't read the solar panels for some reason now. We should be able to. No, solar panel. Yeah, we're still accessing them. Oh, okay. I guess it was just being weird. Maybe it was some change they made and we just had to reset it. All right. But yes, that's just so it doesn't run, make sure that the backup generator doesn't run if we're getting a charge. So, which is kind of nice because we can actually see, and maybe we'll set up a display and pull that off later on, but we can actually see the wattage because they're all pretty much pulling the same wattage, exactly how much we're getting out of them. So 491, 493, yeah, so pretty much about as efficient as we're probably ever going to get them. All right, let's get this button back up. And then we'll get out of here and go figure out so much wiring to burn through. And there we go. Ah, very nice. All right, and get our floor put back down. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't know. One of these days we'll add enough batteries in that we don't get a full charge anymore. All right. So, and I think we need to smelt an alloy for this as well. Yeah, but my thought is we turn this off. It'll switch these to intakes, change the digital valve. And we'll probably test on this one right here just because it is next to the circuit and everything's kind of easily accessible. So if we've got an well, actually, we don't need the active vent. We don't need that. Well, I guess we'll probably get it set up with. Let's see. And I think for the digital valve, I think we need an alloy in here. I'm pretty sure. Actually, couldn't make the digital. Yes, we can. Oh. Oh, there we go. Invar. Which I don't believe we have any, because I think we used pretty much everything. So that was the nickel and the iron. So we could do 25 that and 25 of that. Ah, very nice. Is that, I'm going to go ahead and just smelt that 50 right there because we are kind of low on that. All right, so we'll kick this in real quick, run this. No, I keep forgetting about it. Oh, look. What's up with the, is that intentional? It's like orange. Oh, hang on one second. Okay. All right. That's weird. I don't know if that's a texture glitch thing or if they've actually just added that there intentionally. Anyway, so iron and nickel. And we do got as you can see, our pressure, we've got it set for higher than that. We're actually completely out of oxygen, I do believe. A visual marker for lighting the... Oh, is that where you're basically supposed to be up to that pressure before you light it? I don't know. I figured you'd just be in the green. I don't know. It always seems like oh, it could be. Yeah, I don't know because I don't think you had to be that high to get it to light though. Well, that's draining. I want to grab, and I'd really like to repressurize the base, but I'm not going to yet because I do want to add in. And let's see here. Yeah, we have 19 PA of oxygen, 42 kPa. We are collecting slowly. I mean, it's just running. Most of it's in this pipe, probably. Yeah, 6.71 MPa. It's already been sent out to go towards the air collection system. No, we've got some. It's just all tied up in the system. So we don't have, we basically burned through our reserve. Okay, we can turn that off. And I don't know. Let's see. We'll pump it up a little bit and see what it does. Watching the needle move. Yeah, 260. See, I used to always light it, like that would be more than enough to light it. You only need like 100. I don't know how accurate the gauge really shows. What do we need for Invar? Iron, nickel. Okay, so we can go, we need pretty high pressure. Not that high. We might hit it. 8. We actually over pressurized a little bit. We're in the temperature range though. And can we get it? We should. 2, 3. Oh, we're a little over on temperature. All right, we gotta wait for the temperature to drop. Oh, you know what I should do? Since we're running all this, let's do this, turn on our override, turn off our returns. Not that we have any atmosphere, but which I don't know. We probably actually need some atmosphere. Just to let it, yeah, there we go. I depressurized it to hook up um, the intake system from the Mars atmosphere so that we could collect CO2. And yeah, we're a little high on the temperature, which it looks like at the rate that this is going, we're going to lose the pressure before we lose the temperature, which is going to be kind of a bum. And yeah, I haven't hooked it quite back up yet because we still got a couple more of those to tie in, and we're going to have to run intake vents. Yeah, I wish there was a way to cool it off. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think it's gonna come out because I think our pressure is gonna drop before the temperature drops. I should have just left it up at the. Um, uh, that might increase the pressure. No, because you can't. Yeah, it won't. Um, it won't actually until the furnace shuts back off. You can't actually pump anything more into it. That's why you can't. You can't once you light it. You can't. It's not like I kind of wish the system was a little bit different. I kind of wish it took a steady flow, like which would be kind of like more realistic. It's not like, you light your household gas oven, and it's not like you pump it full of gas and light it, and it doesn't, it gets a constant draw, just like a gas water heater. Um, So it would be kind of nice if it took, and then you could regulate it. And if you need to open the valve up to give it more pressure, then you could do that. I think that would be a lot more interactive, and I'm hoping it'll kind of go that route later on. I mean, if this is like the first pass, then yeah, great, it's working. But that would give us a lot more control over it. Um, and I really hope they get rid of the whole outgassing thing. Um, yeah, I know. I wish it would just auto output too. Like if you could make something, then it would just auto output. Because really, you can only make like one recipe in it at a time anyway. So if it says, oh, you can make, oh, you know what I could probably do, and it's gonna, yeah, we're gonna lose it because the pressure is gonna drop too low. All right, so we'll just purge it. We'll try again. So I shouldn't have pumped it so high. If I pumped it a little bit lower, then we've been right. Yeah, it should be a constant flow. I mean, it should be a constant input and output. You should be able to. I have no idea. Yeah, you do get weird temperature spikes and stuff. And you can see the temperature is slowly creeping up in the room, but it should keep it isolated. Yeah, and we'll get it low again so we can get the thing reignited. Yeah, yeah, I definitely think so. But, I mean, a lot of stuff is just basically bare bones implementation. Just get it in the game, get it working in some format, and, it'll be revamped. Yeah, I know, because then you could dump, you know, one mixture in, get it set, dump one mixture in, make that alloy, whatnot. adjust your flows, so you get higher pressure, lower temperature, whatever you need to do. Dump your next set of ores in, and and then when you're done with it, you can just shut it off. Even if it takes a little while to pressure up, pressure down. I mean, it doesn't have to be insanely fast, but it's very, very, very cumbersome and kind of unrealistic the way it works right now. So we can get this down. We should be able to light this in a minute. I'm fine with it not being instant. Um, I don't mind some things taking. I just don't want it to take forever. I mean, there's a line between enjoyable and oh my God, get this done. Yeah, well, this is definitely not a game for instant gratification. Oh, come on. I do want this to drain a little bit. I mean, and I'm so much happier that now that we did put the volume pumps here. It works so much better than trying to use the pressure regulators because they just work so much faster. And we'll have to go see what all our tanks are at now, because we did expand the line, the radiator line coming off of this. So hopefully gases should not be quite as hot when they come in. Um, I remember somebody had a suggestion a while back about putting the intake tank like outside, which I kind of did like that idea, because we could put it on a logic circuit that it doesn't let it into the system until it cools off to a certain amount. Um, that way it would help keep us from, basically overtaxing the ACs. Was that you? I'm not sure. This was, a while ago. Okay, so we're going to bring this up to probably about there. We activate the furnace. Oh, come on. Now watch. We're not going to get enough pressure. No, we're not, because we need 6. At least we're not. So 280 was too high and 170 was too low. I thought that was a good median range. And I wish you could just reignite it. But no. So it looks like we need to be about probably, I don't know, maybe 230. Yeah, well, sometimes they're good. You know. I mean, I wish it would almost be nice that if you could just have it like a dial. You set your pressure, you set your temperature, feed it the gases, and then, kind of, I don't know, that might be too much automating. Or, the machine doing too much. But it would be nice. I mean, because then, think we could have a logic circuit set up, and we could basically select which alloy we're going to want to smelt, and we could have it set in to control the valve until the furnace reaches that, you know, and kind of adjust the mixture. Usually the smelting goes pretty much a lot smoother than this. We're getting a little warm too in here. I don't know if we should just try putting another bank of coolers in or not. I mean, it's not insanely hot. We're not getting insanely hot like we were, so that's kind of good. All right, I'm gonna hope that's enough. I don't really wanna. I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit. So we're gonna try to get to. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, because there was. Yeah, it's self-ignited. Son of a. That's the other thing I don't like. Is it will self-ignite if it's warm enough. And now we're nowhere near the pressure and the temperatures. If we were doing iron or gold or something, that would be fine. It that's up to temperature enough to smelt that stuff. But we're mixing alloys, then, and we do get weird pressure jumps sometimes. But I know that's a temperature / pressure thing. It causes weird kind of jumping around every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, we might do something. I might, you know what I could do too is I could leave a tank outside. And no, because that would be too much contamination. Like I say, you could almost leave a tank outside and just basically pump really cold air into it as well. Yeah, we might do a radiator one. Maybe I'll put a passive radiator system in, and then we can, basically pull. And we could, yeah, the roof on this we could. It is lower, but maybe when we revamp the room, we'll take a look at kind of, a few different systems. Maybe we will throw a passive system in. I wouldn't honestly mind just doing, well, probably not the floor actually, and maybe on the ceiling. Maybe we'll just line the whole ceiling with radiators and just do a passive system outside. Yeah, we could probably tie it into the same radiator system. Because I'm pretty sure, and I do need to go outside and check actually and see. Actually, we can do that right here. Oh, we don't have our other one on us. Let's wait for that to cool down a little bit more. Yeah, it is getting kind of warm in there. 192 degrees. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have it on? Oh, we did have it on us. I usually only have one on me at a time, so. But it's definitely keeping it's definitely keeping it all in here, though, which is nice. Let's see. Oh, yeah, see, we need to make this radiator system bigger. Because we're kind of, we need to get it, yeah, we also need to pressurize it some more, too. But, yeah, we need to expand this one. Because we're definitely, we're overtaxing it because the temperature in it's just jumping up. All right, so we've got 0. We're still kind of warm, but hopefully we should be able to pressurize now without it self-igniting. There we go. Oh, now it's self-ignited. Son of a... Oh, it is actually still climbing. Oh, we might actually hit this. We're going to be over on temperature. That's right. Oh! 900 to... we're actually... We need 8. We need, what is it? 8 kPa and 2000 temperature is the max. So that's actually pretty close to what we need. Yeah, well, we got to expand the radiator too, because the problem is it's not, the bigger the temperature difference, the better it cools. So that would probably help quite a bit there, because we could drop it. We were up at 60 degrees right now, and we can drop it down to negative 60 degrees. And hopefully, yeah, I gotta see. Maybe I'll have to look and see if maybe there's a different gas mix. Maybe if we don't do quite as clean as a burn. Not really sure, because yeah, the only thing with the passive system is we'll have to put a valve on it because we don't want it just pulling heat out of the base constantly. All right. And hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get it because it's got to drop 300 degrees. And we've got to drop 1.9 MPa, 1.4 MPa. I don't know. We might be able to get it. I'm going to let it get to temperature. And as soon as it gets down to 2000, then if we haven't hit the pressure, I can open the valve real quick to drop the pressure the last little bit. It is on a separate heating and cooling. You know, this is on its own radiator. This is on its own, and it's on its own circuit. So the only thing that's tied in is the air intake and return, which is why I just shut it off now when we're running. Because we have, look at that, we're up to 300 degrees. And we got to drop another 250 degrees. It'll take a little while. Yeah, see, we're definitely overtaxing that AC system. So we definitely need to throw some more. Well, we need the air. We're not going to get the return if we don't have the room pressurized. The ACs won't do anything. But I want it to be able to run while it's pressurized. Okay, come on. This meltery is like the longest process. Yeah, that is an option. I won't be able to leave it. You know, we're gonna end up with the same thing if it's you know, I don't know. I have to look into it and think, because I mean, we do kind of have the airlock, but no, it's not. We have to be down below 2000. So it's getting there. But hopefully we're still going to have our pressure because, oh no, we can go as low as 6. I'm pretty sure it was 6 that we can go down to. No, because I'm not going to dump the gas until it gets down to temperature. Because that's what happened last time is I dumped the gas thinking that it used to be when you dump the pressure, it would drop the gas a bit as well, or the heat as well, because you were dropping it out. But this time, I don't know if they changed it, but it didn't drop the temperature, only the pressure. So, so I want to get down to temperature, and then if we need to, we'll drop the pressure. But it looks like we're going to be in the pressure. We still might be a little high on the pressure. But I'll get the temperature down first. Yeah, it's 6 to 7, so we can, yeah, we'll probably drop the pressure a little bit. Because I think we'll still be in the 8s by the time we get down the temperature. That's what it looks like. Which we should hit it really soon. And looks like we got an autosave. It would be nice if there was some way to yeah, I know. Yeah, we're almost there. And I want to see what the volume pump is set. I don't want it to pump out that fast. Because I want some control over it. Yeah, we should have it here in a minute. But we'll definitely have to bleed some pressure off. Yeah, look, 470 degrees in here. Yeah, we definitely need to expand that radiator system and whatnot. But, oh, yes, I should just call this the smelting stream. Which I guess I can't complain. I mean, now that we've, you know, kind of known what changes they've made. I did think about that. I did think about setting up just a small, like even one of the portable tanks and pre-mixing gases. And then just, you know, basically just set up like a digital valve system. So we flip it, you know, we pick which what we're smelting, you know, what alloy, and then it'll send the mix in to the pressure it needs to be. That should give it, yes. And fire. Thank you. All that. And you know what? Our furnace is still warm. I'm gonna go dump a ton of gold in there real quick because we need gold. I think we need some copper too. So we don't want that in there. We want that in there. Though, if I remember correctly, does the we'll grab in that belt. I said copper. Yes, we need some copper. Which this is doing good at isolating the temperature, so that's good. I mean, at least that's working well. Watch, my tool belt will burst into flames. And I can't remember, does the gold... It does outgas. Okay. So we're not going to want to run too much of this through because we're going to drop it down too low. But if I remember correctly, and I don't know if it's a bug or not, but if I remember correctly, copper does not outgas. Yeah, so see, it'll run through. It's not dropping the temperature on it or the pressure. So we can actually run quite a bit of... Oh, did I just put the ingot back in there? Oh, that was intelligent. There we go. We'll just run this through real quick. That'll give us some some more copper, since we did just burn through a ton of it making wiring. And then we'll let this cool down. We might try to run another batch through. Since this isn't dropping it, maybe we'll try running another batch or two of gold through it until it gets too cold. Just because we do need the gold. All right. And I do want to make some type of... I'm not sure. I like to make some type of... you know, when we redo this, I want to do some type of collection bin and have it come out instead of the current system that it's kind of using right now, meaning that it's just dropping it on the floor. Oh, yeah, see, there's another one back there. All right, see, we might be able to get 2 batches out. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get 2. It might drop too low on the last one. No, I think we'll get 2. All right, we'll try for 3. Yeah, it might. I don't think we'll get 4, but we'll try. Oh, we did. And I'm pretty sure we won't get this one. I think it's 800 is the cutoff. Oh, it did make it. Very nice. It must be, is it 6? Well, I'm not going to complain. All right, well, that'll be good. And I think I'll just go ahead and, yeah, that's kind of, thank you. Yes, the pile of gold in the middle of the floor. Yeah, there is none. I'm still waiting for a crouch button. Which, you know, of something that's not in the game. You know, I guess of all the things to not be in the game. And let me go ahead and I really don't want to leave my tool belt sitting in the room that's almost 600 degrees. Okay. And obviously we get some heat out here when we do that, but You know what? We have almost no pressure, so it's not really going anywhere. All right. And we can throw, both of these were empty. We can just throw them up there. And yeah, this one had pretty much no gold. We definitely need yeah. We'll do that. We don't need that much in that one. So, my thought is digital valve, which we might do a test setup with just a regular valve, because I don't know. And we can try testing it, I guess. And we just have stuff all over the place. So that furnace should be drained out, and we can just let that room cool off. So, and we'll just leave everything in there for now, since we don't need it right now. Oh, what's our 88%? I never did. I gotta see if we're up to 100% or not. I imagine these are probably working overtime again. Well, actually, this shouldn't be too hot because whoa. Why is our temperature? Our oxygen return was turned off. Is it heating up the pipe coming into the fuel mix? Yeah, that was the whole reason we shut off the returns and stuff in there, so it didn't. I mean, it might be throwing it off because it's only at 97 PA. I mean, you can see how fast it's cooling off. So it doesn't, it only has to dump a little bit of energy in there. So, yeah, I'll have to check. We might have to move that back a little bit then, so it's not, yeah, that should be, well, no, because look, our H2 tank is not, it's not transferring the heat back through the H2 tank, because that line obviously ties into that mixer as well, and it's not bringing it into our CO2, which it should. It's only the O2 that it does it on, and I don't know why. Though it does say, oh, it might be because we have so much CO2 as well. I think that's probably what it is. Huh. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, we might have to, I don't know. I don't really see any other way to, I mean, opposed to, like I was saying, is having this tank outside. Which, what is our pressure in here? Oh, not that much. So, like, if we had this tank outside, we could maybe set it up to a digital valve or a volume pump and not let it pump in. We'd probably just set it up to a digital valve. Not let it pump in unless it's below a certain temperature. So it can just sit outside, cool off before it comes through the system. And obviously it's going to completely bottleneck the system until it's cooled off. And maybe what we could do is actually have a radiator line tied into that. And then that'll help the tank dissipate some of the gases as well. So there's something we can try doing. Yeah. Yeah, a large tank would probably work better because I'm assuming a large tank since it has more surface area, it probably transfers the heat. You know, you get more area for it to bleed or gain heat from. All right, I'm gonna pull that off, and I'm actually gonna pull that off too. I don't really need to, but I want to be able to access this easy enough. Okay, and we'll do that. And let's combine those. All right. So my thought is, and you know what? I should grab some pipe. Pipe. Yeah. It's probably we probably should need more than that. The tanks have no max capacity, so we shouldn't ever have a problem with that. It's not like we'll overfill them. So am I gonna see how this is gonna? Which unfortunately I left these right next to each other. Oh, actually, I guess we could do it down below. No, I don't want to do it like that. Because we can control which way the digital valve goes, can't we? No, just on or off. That's gonna. Okay, it's not how I was thinking it was gonna work. I figured it was like the other valve that can flow either way. This might not work then. Ugh. Yeah, because the other valve doesn't matter. It'll, no matter in which way you turn it, it's just either a... Well, I guess we could still do a digital valve. We'll just have to do 2 of them. Because I need it to work both ways. Yeah, I need bidirectional. Because the thought is I would have it on a junction between these two. Yeah, let me see here. I mean, I might be able to do it. If it's on a batch writer, it might work. Because... No, it's not. Because it's going to kick them on at the same time, and we would need one open and one closed. You know, I figured we could just put a loop in it and just shut it off when we don't need to return. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking, but it's going to be it's an all or nothing sort of thing. So they're either going to be on or they're going to be off. So that would I don't think that would work. I get, well, no, because it's either all off, all on if we're doing a batch writer. So it would turn both pumps on. How do we want to lay that out? Actually, let's mock it up. And I think that was the last of our pipe. Yes. Our nice little Martian landscape. And 83% charge. And we'll see if we can remember when the sun goes down, see if we get up to. Alright, we won't build another one of those right now. Volume pump, tank connector, come on, pipe. Give me pipe. Just need to make some. There we go. Yeah, I do want to get the well, the issue would be is we'd have to set up 2 separate circuits and then try to tie, because you can't, it's an all or nothing sort of thing with the batch writer. It's going to turn on every single digital valve on the circuit. So we'd have to set up 2 different circuits because otherwise it's going to turn on both the outflow and the inflow at the same time, unless we do something where we use a volume pump on one side and a digital valve on the other, or something like that. So my thought is we'll just try to kind of mock this up. So if we say this is our oxygen line, and we'll say that this is our waste line. Yeah, the problem with the two circuits is then we got to run twice as much wiring, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's trying to keep, to get yeah, but then it's not that, is we have to run to every single one of these. So there's at least one of these in every room that we'd have to run two circuits to. And then the other issue with two circuits is we have to keep the power. And yeah, see that's where we're getting to. And even though they're two different circuits, we've got to supply the power to them as well. Well, I guess that's not that big of an issue, but no, this is just I want to mock it up, and I was going to just set it there and test it. But since I never used the digital valves, I mistakenly assumed that they were set up like the other valves, that they were bidirectional. Just let it equalize the pressure in the lines. But no, it's obviously there's a direction on them, which is kind of dumb because that's not really how a valve works. This is more like a regulator now. So let's see. Yeah, but then if we do two different valves, we're doing two different circuits. So if we have, let's say, and this isn't going to let me attach it either because it's down. Let's just say, actually, well, let me hook it to the pipe. I don't think so. No. But only this is the only valve we can control by the computer. That's the issue. So oxygen there. I mean, we could do it with a pressure regulator, but it's going to run really slow. Hey, Boney. And we can't do it with a mixer. We could probably do it with a volume pump if we needed to, because we could do the volume pump for the input. Maybe. Something like that. Yeah, because we would have to have... We could do that for our exhaust, and then maybe do a volume pump for the input. And I believe... because for the intake, it pretty much sucks in as much as it can. The output, we could do it as a pressure regulator, but it's going to take forever, so I don't want to do that. I don't know. There's got to be some way. I mean, really, these should not be directional. It should. I'm probably going to put in a thing on that, because that should definitely not be directional, especially when it shows that it's going in both directions. Yeah, I might have to do that. Hang on. Let me double check and make sure it's just not showing that. Maybe it's just showing the arrows. I don't know, because according to the wiki, it says the regular pipe valve used to stop gases inside other parts of the network must be opened manually, unlike the digital valve bidirectional. If you look up the if you look up the digital valve, it does not say that it's bidirectional. Uh, hmm. All right. Yeah, I don't think it says. The devs don't really answer on that. Um, all right. So, where did output? N- no, because we don't do that, because then it would tie in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna look into it some more. I don't think that's gonna work. Um, and then what's the max? Let me see if the wiki had. No, not the wiki. The Stationeers cheat sheet, which does come in very handy. Does that have? Is there a max flow on the? It's not gonna tell me. The active vent. That is something that seems to be missing a lot. I mean, there's obviously a max, but hmm. Hmm. Volume thingy, solar heat, radiated heat, vacuum loss. I don't think they've got anything in for that. But even though, I mean, we should, I would imagine, be able to use a volume pump. Though, not necessarily, because we're using a volume pump for this. And that's, we're basically going to end up at the exact same thing. If we use a volume pump, then we're going to be either sucking in air faster than the volume pump can handle and it's going to explode, or we're going to be limited by the volume pump, which is pumping at 100 liters. So it's not going to make any improvement over that. Yeah, so the volume pump's not going to help us. We're probably just not going to be able to do that. I really wanted to do something like that, though, but and we would have to. I mean, I guess we could always try running two networks and have one return and one go back. Because I'm trying to think. Because if we have a tie-in, have a tee off after the valve, then if we output, it's going to be fine. But if we intake, then it's going to contaminate the supply system. If we have the valve on the input side in TN, then Yeah. Then we have a T in here. Yeah, either way, we're going to contaminate one or the other. And my other thought is just change the way the lines ran, because we've got other stuff tying into the line. So like the CO2 tank ties in. Um, I'm not sure. Well, we did a little bit of testing. We added more passive vents and we got a faster flow. But we know that this pumping in pumps in a lot faster than, even using these with like three or four. So I think I don't know if it's, theoretically you would think that, this is the same basically square footage of vent. So you think that these would have the same rate. So I would think that basically this volume pump moves less air than basically what the vent moves. Um, Now, the whole way we could get around this too is just run these on a whole separate circuit and not do the valve thing. So we'll probably just do that because it doesn't look like the valve's going to work. So we can tie in, and we actually started to have the whole thing set up. So we need to basically run another circuit and have data tie into this, and we need to have a separate power pull in from this as well. Are you talking about, is it the input valve or the output valve that's moving gases faster? I mean, the active vent's just faster overall. Obviously, we haven't tried pressurizing the base just using passive vents, but that's just going to equalize to whatever we could actually just use a digital valve with passive vents and just pressurize the whole base like that, which is probably going to just blow it through insanely fast. The active vents are blowing into the room, and then the thought is to have this set up, but the problem is you can't differentiate. They're on the same circuit, so kind of like the same issue we'd run in with the volume pumps. Is the batch writer's only going to see? They're going to see that, and that is the same thing. They don't differentiate between what the settings are on it, so it'll just activate both, which does not help us depressurize the base if it's still pumping all the air in. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. I mean, my thought is just to add, instead of we would tie off and run a digital line to a digital valve, and then, we could do, my thought is we just have two, we'd have them set reversed, so it would shut like the intake off and open the return, or vice versa. I didn't realize, well, I guess we could actually just still do that. Well, no, because we can't. Yeah, see, that wouldn't work because my thought is we would have. No, I don't think that would work anyway. Hmm. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to separate it. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think there's a way to do it right now. Is what it looks like. And what did I do that? So, anyway, all right. Well, that's kind of a bust on that, I guess. Which is kind of disappointing. But we did get other stuff done, so I guess that's good. Get this button back up. Take one pipe, split it into two. So you're talking about basically just one pipe, two, one. Oh, and then. Well, no, because we don't. That doesn't. And the way on the other. Yeah, the pipe on the floor. Okay. Hang on. Let me go grab a pipe. Yeah, I see what you're saying is, so that would split it off. And then you're saying bringing it up to the other one. And then we'd have another valve. Well, I know, but it's already here, so I'm just trying to speed along the process since we've already got. And just for testing purposes, the valve. Well, we wouldn't want it there because that's just going to isolate that section of pipe. Yeah, you're saying basically something like that. And then we would just tie back into, not a 5-way. Why are you not lining up? All right, let's see. So if we did that, we can come in. If this valve's open, that valve's closed. No, it doesn't. The name does not affect the batching. It's the type. Name has nothing to do. I can name them everything in the base the same name. And when I do a batch writer and tell it to activate a vent, it's going to activate all the vents on the circuit. Yeah, that's the issue. Is batch writers go by type, not anything else. But that still wouldn't work though, because that would give us yeah, but then if we're going to run 2 circuits, then I might as well just tie into the stuff that's already there. I mean, I can just do it off the batch writer instead of adding a ton of piping and stuff. So, and honestly, this is already set up. We just have to run this circuit and change to all those vents. It's just going to be a matter of snaking a whole nother circuit through the whole entire base to get to all of these. Which, while we've got the base depressurized, maybe we'll just run it across the ceiling or inside the ceiling. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that would work though, because we're basically, the problem here is we're going from no. See, we would need yeah. So what we would need actually is something set up like if we get rid of that, get rid of that. Oh, you know what we could do actually is something like yeah. what we want is actually something like that with two valves. So then we've got, say, exhaust and intake, the vent, and then if this is open, it's going to let it output, and if this is closed and this is open, then it's going to let it go back. I mean, that's really what we need, but where we can't, I was hoping that we could just set the directions on these, and then we would just be able to turn, you know, on, off, or we would be able to reverse. Well, you were saying two merge back into one, one merge to two to merge to one. Really, we're just merging two into one. But yeah, that's not gonna. The only way that that would work is if we ran the whole entire separate return line for just the air system. And then what we could do is, no, that wouldn't work either. Well, no, yeah, because if we turn that on, then it's going to just suck it through the system. Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to have to do it the other way. I mean, we'll just run a line and snake a whole bunch of wiring through the base. But the base is depressurized now, so now's the time to do it and get it, get it kind of working, because it works way faster to do this than it does to try to do those. Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, there's potential that it could be useful somewhere else. Um, Obviously, just not in this case. And maybe if we wanted to do something like that, might be useful if we wanted to set up a reserve system for the. So, like, if we have this tank where it's chilled, then we could have the digital valve, and they already require water. Yeah, there's a water line ran to all the plant bases. You have to give them a steady trickle of water. They don't use a lot. I mean, so we have plenty of water, but they do require it already. Oops, we can pull that up too. Yeah, that was pretty quick. It was just run a line down because you don't have to mess with it. I mean, I don't, as far as I know, you don't even need to heat the water, and I just do it so it's not sucking heat out of the base to try to heat up the tank. Yeah, well, what I'm gonna do is this tank. I'm gonna set a passive vent running through the wall on a valve, which we probably actually just use a digital valve for that, and then we can just flip a switch. It'll open up, so it'll depressurize this. This will stay depressurized and basically vented to space, so it should equalize the temperature. So it should keep it basically about -60 or try to. Um, and then if we ever need to access it, so we're messing with something in there, we can basically hit the switch. It'll shut off the valve, and then that way we can open it up, and yeah, we'll pressurize the area around it, but we're not going to like suck all the air out of the base basically to do so. Um, yeah, that's kind of the plan for that. And then, like we were talking about earlier, we'll probably move the intake. That's an intake tank outside. So when we run the furnace, it can chill it off. We do need it. Which, speaking of the furnace, and look, we're still hitting 100% charge. And all the ACs are running. Yeah. Well, except for the nitrogen, which must be up at temperature, I'm assuming. Or it's doing the weird glitchy thing again. Nah, it's doing the weird glitchy thing again. I might try reversing the circuit on that one again. That or I shut it off and forgot I shut it off, which I may have done. But we're actually starting to overtax that a little bit too. 23, 41. Yeah, that's going up a little bit because of running the... Well, you got to realize too that I don't have these shut off, so we're running 4,000 watts just on basically trying to heat vacuum. So we're kind of wasting quite a bit of power. Yeah. And what are we in here? Oh, look. Very nice. Yeah, we're back down to temperature. I don't waste tons and tons. It's just the heaters are running. I mean, we don't have a choice about keeping the ACs and stuff running if we're trying to keep stuff at temperature. And what is clicking? We get that down in the other room too. I don't know if it's some of the logic maybe is making the clicking sounds. It's not. It's 4,000 watts. That's it. And we're making ton of power anyway. Now we're gonna have oh wow, that's completely empty. Interesting. All right, well we'll put 100 copper in there. Not that we'll probably ever really need 100 copper in there. And we'll put some copper in there. All right. Lovely gold. Oh yeah, I still got some sitting in the other thing too, don't I? All right. Oh, we can shut that off. We don't need that running. And we don't need that open. Yeah, we definitely got to get we got to get some oxygen going. We need to get the greenhouse up and running, especially now that we've got now that there's and you know what? I'm probably gonna start storing ingots since we've got so much of some of these in the machines now. There's not really a point to put, you know, a ton of them. Yeah. Well, that will give us oxygen too, but if we just let the greenhouse run, that's just going to generate oxygen as well. So, and I think it's all ready to go. It should be pressurized. Yeah. I mean, really all we have to do is plant plants and it's going to start running. Yeah, and we can just like and I think they added a max stack size now for the plants. I believe I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, those are the ACs. I don't get what's up with the noise on those. Okay. And I gotta make an egg carton one of these days, so it just takes up less room. So it'll be interesting to see if pulling in from the Mars atmosphere can keep up with how much we use from the plants. Because that was the problem last time is basically we sucked up, we used up all the CO2. Which means we should have got an equal amount of O2 back. I believe it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But as you can see, it is keeping it. That's all right. Yeah, the greenhouse is no, we had it up and running before. The greenhouse stays at temperature. The only reason we shut it down was because we were going to use all of our CO2. I'm going to leave it like that just to bother you for like the next 4 episodes. Yeah, so the greenhouse is up and running fine. The extra cooling, because we added the extra cooling in, and that basically straightened it out. And are we pretty much depressurized in here now? I don't know. I don't care if we throw a little bit of CO2 into the base air. And look, hey, look, our temperature's jumping up. So very nice. Which is not good. It should not be jumping up. We were getting adequate cooling before, so we should not. And look, they haven't even started growing yet. I swear, those are so buggy. I guess we should go. All right, we're going to go outside and check the radiators. Oh, actually, we can check it right here. It's the same system. 1.4, nope, 2 MPa at negative 22 degrees. 22.7, so it's warming up slowly, but yeah, we should definitely be cooling adequately. It used to. Obviously, it looks like we're going to kill all the plants now, though, because it's slowly climbing up in temperature. We had that issue before, and I don't know why. Oh, you know what we didn't check? Now that it's actually running, well, it's pumping in the air at 40 degrees, so that would be part of it, is that would bring up the temperature. But we knew the cooling was adequate before. The ACs are on a circuit, so it's supposed to aim to keep it at 38.7 or no higher than that. Jump, jump. Yeah, so they should be constantly running. And that clicking is really annoying. I'm assuming that's the look, there's the weird glitches that we were having before too. And is that a what is there somebody on the roof? What is on the oh, it's a jetpack. I was like, what is that? Okay, interesting. No, it should definitely be cooling though. I mean, we could always try expanding the AC system, but that was keeping it at temperature fine before with stuff in there. And look, the sun's not even up, and it's generating heat. I don't know, there's something weird. As soon as you put plants in here, yeah, I know. As soon as you put plants in, the heat just starts climbing. But yeah, so probably all the plants will die. I'm not really that worried about it. We'll see. Yeah, it's strange. I don't get it. Obviously, I think it's kind of buggy. Yeah, they are yeah, 23 degrees. H2O. That's the pipe network. Yeah, that's the water. It's reading the pipe because these sit on a pipe. So it's actually reading the pipe. Yeah. So the water in the pipe is at 23.1 degrees, which is actually cooling off. You would think that if anything that would, but yeah, obviously see. I mean, even with no sun, the greenhouse is warming up. What if we turn off the lights? I mean, technically everything in the game generates heat, but the only thing we have in here is a circuit underneath the floor. Yeah, still climbing. And now the sun's gonna come up, and the temperature is gonna jump up like crazy. I'm gonna try to leave the plants off though, and see, or the lights off, and see if it makes a difference. But I think somebody mentioned that they thought there was a bug where it was counting each plant is basically something in the room, and that we might be able to try that. I thought about trying to replace the ones on the sides because supposedly every window adds heat, but it looks like it's obviously um, yeah, yeah, that might work. I mean, I could probably just do it so it's just on the ceiling, but I didn't want to really rip the whole thing apart, and I don't know. We might have to. But I think what's going on though is that it's having obviously it's bugged because it's doing it at night, but basically every window is heating up the plant, and it's basically just generating a ton of heat. But it's they're generating way more heat than they should be, and I don't really, they're gonna start dying soon because it's gonna get too hot, especially now that the sun's come up. And I mean, we could try just expanding the radiator system, but it's too late to do it tonight. And that might be a good way to start. Is just we'll just expand the radiator system and see how much that helps. Because it is. Oh, come on. I've lost my. Oh, you know what? Yep. Duh. Yeah. If I turn it off, I don't get my dot. Negative 8.7, which I believe is warmer than it was. Yeah. Negative. Oh no, it's actually dropping. Negative 8.8. Oh, that's the base. Oh, yeah. Come on. There we go. Negative 11.7. Yeah. So it's slowly climbing, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to mess around with it and see, figure out what we can do. But I think first we'll just try ramping up the radiator. Because if we can get a bigger temperature differential, then it's going to cool that much better. But maybe we will end up pulling out some lights or one of that. Maybe we'll try pulling out the north wall and see if that makes a difference because we'll be pulling out that much glass. But since it seems like we're generating heat at night, then I think it's actually bugged. I think the plants are basically just generating heat as long as they're because we don't have the issue in the greenhouse until we plant the plants. So I think the issue is that the plants are just generating a set amount of heat constantly. Um, so I think that's the main issue, and they're just generating too much. We could try just adding more wall coolers in, as well. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll have to mess around with it. The strange thing is, though, is that the last time we ran the greenhouse, it was cooling no problem. Yeah, you see yeah, they're all gonna die because we're up at like, yeah, they're getting really close to. I probably would not be surprised if I go in there and see that it says that they're wilting. Hey Drake. Um, so yeah, I don't know if they've changed something or what, but or it could be because we moved from Mars to the moon. I mean, the moon's colder, so maybe we just need to expand the radiator to compensate. All right. Well, anyway, we're hitting almost 2 hours right now, so we're gonna go ahead and call this stream good, I guess. Um, I guess really the only thing well, we get some stuff smelted, and we got another two batteries in, which is nice. I kind of did want to get something addressed with this, but yeah. um, oh, oh, well, oh yeah. See, as soon as all the plants died, now it's cooling right back off. So yeah, it's something with for some reason the plants are just generating too much heat. Um, but yeah, maybe we'll try expanding the radiator system, and then if that doesn't work, then maybe what we'll do is change the north wall to be um, the north wall to not be glass, and maybe then we'll even put another line of uh, wall coolers on there, and then we can just tie it into the circuit, and it'll basically double our cooling. Well, there is pipes there, so I mean we could just not plant as many plants, but I mean we shouldn't. That's not that many. I mean, we should be getting enough. I think maybe we'll just try expanding the radiator system first, and we'll figure it out. But anyway, we'll have to call this stream good. Like I said, it's about we're almost hitting 2 hours. Um, I'll stream again tomorrow, which is a Friday after work. Um, and I might also stream well, yeah, but the thing is that the greenhouse was running fine before. I said, "Hey Drake," to you when you came on. Um, yeah, the greenhouse was running fine before, though. I mean, the last time we ran it, we didn't have any issues. The only difference is the map was the moon. So I'm wondering if we just need to expand the radiator system. So we'll try that first. But anyway, we got to wrap up this episode. I got to get in bed. I've got work in the morning. Um, I will, yeah, stream at least another episode of Stationeers tomorrow. And I might be doing um, a Hellion stream too. See if we can get a little bit farther along in that. But hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one.